Howdy everybody, welcome to Animation for Fun live stream. Today is June 12th, 2017, as you can see by the title card. So for tonight's live stream, I thought instead of doing some traditional animation that I've been doing for the past few weeks, hold on, I got my playback going through here, over that. I want to change gears a little bit. I finished up the wizard that I've been working on before, and I posted them on my YouTube channel, so if you haven't seen that yet, please do. I'm planning on doing another harmony tutorial, so I thought I would start building some assets for that, and I've already started it, but I'd like to continue doing it for tonight at least. The tutorial will be maybe done within the next 2 weeks, tops maybe 2 weeks. So that said, I'm going to just move into harmony, and here's our character we have, a whale here. Here's our rough. So we're gonna get our whale in there, and I think the first thing I want to do really is change the color of my slate back here. He's a whale, so I want to change it to a blue. Excuse me. He's in the ocean, so I want to make sure my colors are looking a little more accurate. So let's just change our color slate. Something a little more indicative of what we'd see in the ocean. Which I can see already. Maybe I want to pitch him a little more green in terms of his color, and of course it's one of the nice things about harmony. It's pretty easy to change color somewhat rapidly. Maybe skew it a little more green. Maybe we could try a little more red actually. That might be kind of nice. Okay, so what we can probably do actually is we can go into our color tint panel, and again tonight we're just building some assets for a new harmony tutorial. Tint panel, and the tint panel will allow us to select a bunch of colors. And we can use this as our mixer to, let's get a preview. This mixer is going to mix the color that we're choosing right here in our blend option over here. It's going to mix all the swatches that I picked. So let's throw a little more red into it. So he's going to be a little more purpley for our shark. You know, one thing we could have done actually, I can hit I can hit reset. I can clone his palette. Let's try doing that, so we can go back if we don't like this. Clone, and we'll just call it version 2. So I can go back to this easily if I want to. Let's go back to our tint palette again. Our tint panel. And again, let's pick something purpley and hit our preview. So we want our body, we want the tone, the pectoral fin, the dorsal fin, and the amount that we want to blend it in there. We can play with that. So maybe we don't want the body, we'll take the body out of it. Maybe a little more saturation in it. This changes a lot too, and this is kind of like one of the things I love about harmony actually. It's very easy to kind of like pick these colors. And actually we probably want to take the dorsal fin. Lost my selection. Let's take the body out. This. Okay, that looks good. And we pull some of our mixed color out, and we'll hit apply. There. So let's try that for now. Oh, so tonight was the Sony presser, which I did not watch. However, I heard there was the new Shadow of the Colossus remake, so let's try that. So if the audio is off, if the audio is not too loud, you can't hear me, please say so in the chat and I can lower it. This is the soundtrack from the first one, which I thought was an amazing game. I loved the first Shadow of the Colossus. So so let's hide the roughs a little bit. So one of the things I was thinking about is I have this shape here. I think I want to break up into a bit more pieces. Or maybe not. I don't know. In terms of the rigging, so I have his body, which is serving as a mask for this piece right here, so that it can be moved around if we wanted to change, you know, give his body a little bit of rotation or something. So that's kind of nice. And the other thing I wanted to do was mix in some texture too, and I think I'm going to maybe find some real sharks photos and get some skin and maybe try and mix some of that in there. So we can just keep moving along here with our build. I'm not going to get too deep with his build. His mouth line probably needs to be adjusted now too. Maybe pitch that a little darker. There, it works pretty good. And the other thing I was thinking about is eye. So his pupil. So sharks have these eyes that are almost like this. So sharks have like giant pupils, which almost makes them inhuman, right? That's kind of like, that doesn't really give them much character, I feel like. So let's undo all that. And it's nice to give them like a little beady pupil. It helps give a little bit of direction. So let's pull our roughs back. See where we need to go. We need to get some. And again, if the audio is too loud, please let me know. I can pull it down for you. So the body. Let's take a look. Let's just go. I don't know what these. I don't know a lot of the anatomy of a shark. The fin, not the fins. There's the gills. Gills. Let's just call it gills. Gills for now. Gills. We keep in the same family as the mouth. Maybe. We'll see. Let's get it in there. And pencil am I using? Am I using a pencil? I can use a 20 for now, it's fine. Now the question is, here anatomically speaking, I probably should get a shark up here. So, shark. I don't really know where the... So the gills sit above the pectoral fin, so that's kind of important. And the other thing about this pectoral fin here, I want to cut it a little bit. I want to add a mask to it. So we can do that now, actually. Where's his pectoral fin? It's right there. Actually, start ordering this network a bit. It's pectoral fin. Let's grab a cutter. And again, if you're just joining me tonight, as I see in the YouTube chat, tonight we're doing a little bit different. We're building some assets for the next Harmony tutorial. So this will be a puppet that I'm going to work with. Fin mask. Let's be a little more descriptive. Fin overlay mask. Plug that guy in there. pot for this. We'll call it mask. And we'll make it something obnoxious. And my initial plan was to have it cutting around here someplace. And I'm not sure how I feel about this, honestly. So one of the things this is doing is that I'm losing the thickness of the fin here. So I don't know how I feel about this mask. But I wanted something there so that I had a clean line, you know what I mean? That it wasn't, I could scale and skew this fin as needed. With the mask would help keep that line clean as I did this kind of action. But like I said, I don't really like how it's flattening the skin, how it's flattening that out. I'll give that some thought. I'll let that sit. Let's change this a bit. Pull that in. Alright, so let's start talking about a little bit of his build, like what we want him to do. And really the main thing I want is, I think, well, let's just take a look here. The body, which is this shape right here, which is cutting that overlay, this piece here. So the body, let's just try and just put a bone through it. And we'll give it a pretty fat articulation. And we can just kind of bend it a little bit. Add the body tone. Body tone can be a part of that. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is grab a kinematic output. Where are you? Looking right at it. And what we're going to do is let me start organizing this a bit better. Call this face peg. And we'll push the face around. That works. Okay. And I think I need a nostril in here too. Nostril. And close. We'll keep it. Nice. That's nice. I like keeping things nice and neat in my network. Now I don't want the gills as a part of that. So the gills, take them out, cut. And I'm not sure how I want the gills to be a part. They might be included in the deformation. Let's see how that works. I mean, they're right in the middle. I still can get a little bit of play. Probably best to include them as a part of the deformation. Okay. And the dorsal fin. So for now, I'm going to include that as a part of the deformation too, but I don't think I'm going to want to keep it that way, because look what it's doing. It's squishing and pulling it in a way that I am considering undesirable. I don't like how it's pulling it like that. I feel like the dorsal fin should be a pretty hard object, but if I connect it as a part of the kinematic output, that probably will not work either. No, it works better. A little bit of trickery here. See how that works. No, that does not work at all. You know, a lot of rigging, you know, I read a lot on message boards sometimes. People are like, hey, I want advanced, what's the advanced stuff of rigging? And yeah, honestly, a lot of it is just trial and error. Like what I'm doing right now. Like I have a problem here, I have a design problem. And like I want this piece to kind of follow my rig around, but I need it to behave in a certain way. Like right there, it looks like it's getting too high, you know? So a lot of it's problem solving and just trying to make it work. So you build something and then you test it a bunch of times and then you see how it works, or if it doesn't work, then you try something different. So now we have these guys, these fins. The color card can get lost. I'm going to lock that, but I haven't. No, he is locked. That's strange. So we have the tail fin. The dorsal underlay and the tail. And then we have these guys. Might want to put them on a peg. Dorsal fin peg. You know, I'm not sold on this cropping right now. It's I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Putting this here is not going to have a desirable result, and I know when I turn this, it's going to pull off. So we don't want that. Let's try this. Nope. Not a fan of that either. Yeah, I missed the Sony conference tonight. I forgot. I was sitting there watching Silicon Valley with my wife tonight. And I saw on Twitter the few GIFs of from Shadow of the Colossus, and I was like, oh, it looks awesome. So that is why we have that on tonight. That is our soundtrack of choice tonight. And if you're just joining me in the stream, what we're doing here is we're building a character rig for an upcoming Harmony tutorial that I'm working on. So right now, oops, something that just occurred to me right now is the fin right here. And maybe it'd be nice to have a little bit of separation on the fin. And by that I mean like a little bit of a self-line happening right here. This game has amazing battles. Oh my god. All we have is a little shadow there. Oh, I used the nostrils the same color. That was a mistake. Fin, self-line. We can recolor it. I made a boo-boo. Let's try that. Why is that? Oh, that's strange. Did I read? Oh, that's you fool. There we go. I named the wrong fin. Again, we're building a rig tonight that will be used in a future Harmony tutorial. Let's try that. A little self-line there would be nice. That could work. Yeah, I think the gills could be taken. They're challenging the mouth line a bit too much. We can gray them out. having things that make sense on a straight line across so that they're easily legible. I still haven't quite figured out what to do with this pectoral fin. Like, how do I want it to... Obviously attaching it to this does me no good, because that is a broken, that's broken. Excuse me. But then not having it attached is also not fantastic either. And I don't want it to be a part of the deform, because I don't think that's that. Yeah, see what it's doing? That's crunching it, which is not what we want. Don't want that. So we'll have to think about that. Let's take a look at the mouth. I'm just kind of bouncing around a lot right now. So let's take a look at the mouth. And we're gonna hop down to its underlay. So the real purpose of this particular build is to let's expose everything. I'm building a mouth to help show off one of the features for the tutorial. So the mouth needs to be pretty built out. So let's try and rough in some mouth shapes here. I mean, this is friggin' glorious. This music is seriously taking shit down. And I mean, I don't have a problem with building out a piece like this either. To give it a little bit of a chin. That could be totally cool. So this is a center line here. A nice expressive mouth. Maybe something like that. We have a tongue in there, like so, and then of course an interior, so whatever that may be. I'm not quite sure what that is yet. So like this would be an open mouth, an extremely wide open mouth. That would be the extent of his mouth right there. Yeah, we probably need to build the chin out right here. And keeping this nice and graphic would be nice. Can't help but think this is dipping a bit low right there. Alright. We'll have to get some design to these teeth, get them all ragged looking. I don't know that a shark tooth would do that. Let's take a look at shark teeth. They look like knives almost. And there's definitely more separation, so I'm going to be a little more cartoony than that. This one can be a little longer. It's kind of fun. Whoops. You know, they can be a little jacked up too. And one thing I'm trying to keep in mind is that I'm going to be building these teeth out. So we're going to see gums underneath. Because when the puppet's made, this is all gonna be stuff that's underneath of the lip. That could be nice. Maybe I'll eschew using the back of the teeth back here. I don't know. That might be a bit much. I'll think about it. Like having teeth back here. Might be a bit much. I'll give it some thought. I might put a few in there and then maybe nest the tongue in between, but I mean, of course shark teeth don't really behave like a human mouth. So there's certainly a lot of liberty that's being taken for the purposes of expression. Take one of these top teeth and kind of get it a little crooked. think of another type of mouth here. Copy, let's paste. Ooh, mouth. Ooh. So okay, now this is what's interesting about mouse. It's trying to take the anatomy into account. So that would not be a very good ooh mouth. And maybe part of that has to do with, let's take this mouth. Maybe we can just take it and move it down. That could work a little better. Let's try that. Maybe I need to make this a little. So let's see. How about an F? An F mouth. So I have an idea of where the teeth are here. So any F and V's, he's digging in there. Ticklers and Twitch. I guess Toon Boom is going to announce whatever two things they're going to announce, or something about a web-based program. Hey, Sticklords. So yeah, they're probably going to announce, if I was to guess, probably some sort of Dropbox competitor that, this is me purely guessing, that will probably plug directly into Harmony. So your scenes can more rapidly be seen in the library. That's my guess. It's my pure guess. You know, they have what's called a network. They may have changed the name of that actually. The network version of Harmony that really is made for deployment in a studio where you have like 50 seats or something like that, and there's a front end to it. So like normally when I'm using Harmony, if I want to start a new scene, I just hit File, New, yada yada yada. But so like Maya has this as well. It's a front end where you have scenes that could be, it's like a project management that are handled to you through an animation director or what have you, and all you see are your scenes. You don't see anybody else's scenes. So that's great for organizational purposes. So where the web-based stuff will come in is for freelancers who are maybe working remotely, and they would have access to a studio's library. That's what I would imagine. Well, yeah, cloud-based library. So a lot of that already is kind of existing, like on Dropbox. So I have a bunch of stuff here that is my work stuff over here, and some of these libraries are stored on Dropbox. The solution isn't exactly elegant. It works more often than not. Sometimes Dropbox is not keeping up with what Harmony is writing. Harmony's creating files faster than Dropbox can write them and then upload them. So I have a lot of shared libraries for people I work with in my office. So again, we're using Dropbox, so I would imagine Toon Boom may offer a competitor to that, which I'm sure will be a price. There will be a price attached to that. That's purely me guessing, by the way. Completely guessing. And then whatever incremental changes they'll make to the software. My big sticking point with them is the mesh work. I've said it several times on their network or their forums. So deformation mesh warp is super handy, right? You can add let me find where should I plug this in? I don't even know. Let me unplug this stuff for a hot second. Come on. Okay, so here's the mesh warp. I just stuck it on the body, and if I show the mesh warp, we get all these control points, and we can recite. Come on. It's very temperamental. There it is. We can resize this, and then we can use this to control points and deform our artwork. And even cooler, we can move it around and get a really cool effect, which I've used for different things. And these are all animatable over time. The problem is that these points here, you cannot control the ease to them. There is no function curve available. So what that means is if we have ease happening over the course of time elsewhere on the puppet, the mesh warp will be moving in a linear fashion. So that's kind of a drag. Because the mesh warp suddenly starts to stand out, if you follow. So let's just delete that. But the mesh warp is a super handy tool. I remember in After Effects when they announced it for this, it was really cool. Do I think we'll see a Toon Boom 15? Probably. I mean, ever since they moved into this subscription-based type thing, I feel like they probably now are under the pressure to at least come up with a yearly incremental upgrade, and then that's what keeps people subscribing. My other problem too is, and I don't have a problem with that in particular. That's fine. I mean, their upgrades to the software will be more incremental over the course of a year, as opposed to getting an upgrade, 3 years apart or something like that. So you're just getting the upgrades, smaller upgrades over the course of a shorter period of time, as opposed to a 3-year or even sometimes 4-year development cycle. So it's neither here nor there. My biggest thing is the deformation kinematic output is busted in Harmony 14. In 12 it worked, but if you have a multi-chain multi-pose, excuse me, they call it, it breaks the kinematic output, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. So I really hope they fix that. Hey Pillowhead, how you doing, dude? Good to see you. They think back about needing constant upgrades. Yeah, they kind of need to have some sort of upgrade, some sort of small. They need to keep it moving, And again, like I said, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with small small upgrades. It was a pretty big leap between 10 and 11, and it was a pretty sizable leap between 11 and 12, because 12 is when they separated it into advanced, what is it? Essentials, advanced, and premium. So there was I went through two pretty large leaps. So, and then between 12 and 14, not so much. All right, back to this. I've probably got like another 10 minutes left in me. And so let's just keep moving with these mouth shapes here. An F mouth, maybe a... look at that. Yeah. Some of these teeth are probably too symmetrical. Going from 12 to 14, yeah, nothing major happened in there. For advanced anyway, the shading nodes are pretty nice. I'm pretty sure that was in 14. I'm drawing a blank. It may have been 12 when they put the shading in there. Then again, no, I think I'm wrong on that actually. Shading was in 12. Yeah, I don't really know what happened. I mean, 14 was pretty minor, in my opinion. A, B, I got an O mouth, maybe a B. So a B mouth is really just really just a tweaked closed mouth, a BM mouth. BM. We can even take it and push it a bit. And flatten it a bit. Bring our chin up a little bit. Yeah, the lighting was in 12. Okay, I couldn't remember. Excuse me. And so what I'm doing right now tonight is taking a break, a little bit of the break on the traditional animation. I finished up the wizard from last week, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out on my YouTube channel. But right now I'm working on some assets for a new Harmony tutorial that I've been planning for at least a month. I just don't have the time to get around to it. So I have 2 tutorials I'd like to get out. One of them is a walk cycle, this one is on layer syncing / lip sync a little bit. Kind of touching on lip sync. We need an E mouth. Get rid of this. So let's rough in an E mouth. And the big thing with the E mouth is mouth can straighten a bit. It has an auto lip sync. Yeah, it's trash. Well, it's like the auto lip sync feature in any program is trash. And I don't blame Harmony for that, because it doesn't know the language. So, for example, I was doing some animation direction on for a Korean studio where my company sent some stuff overseas. And it's Korean. They obviously don't speak English. It's not their language. And we sent them lip sync files, and they clearly were using an auto lip sync feature. And the mouths were all over the place. None of it was correct. So we had to do it. And I looked into Harmony's auto lip sync feature a while ago, and it's the same stuff. All it's doing is reading the waveform, and it's grabbing like one of 5 mouths to stick in there, and it lacks any subtlety or timing. So long story short, we had to go in there and we lip sync the mouths ourselves and sent over the files ourselves. How many phenomes do I usually make? Do you do a happy set and a mad set? Okay, so it depends on how fleshed out you get. So I think with this particular tutorial, I'm not going to go too ballistic. I normally do a happy set and a sad set. And I do the vowels and some of the consonants, so whatever it is, like 6 or 7. And then what I normally do too is I take the extra time to create in-betweens, common in-betweens, going from one mouth set into the other. And that helps really save a lot of time. I think I want to squeeze this a bit more. It just helps create a little more flexibility when you have some in-between mouths built. Ahead of time. And of course, if you're real, I mean, in most cases, that's going to do the trick, but if you're really going for the gusto, you always have to create some custom stuff. So I have typical mouths. Lip sync. What's he got in here? Like 20 mouths or something? Oh, none of them are exposed. He's got like something like 36 mouths or something like that, with some extra ones. Let's get him out of there. Ugh, can't find anything good there. Hold on. Yeah, you used it in Anime Studio. It's the same thing. It's just looking at the waveform and it's just seeing what's louder and what it thinks is the actual sound of the letter, and it's guessing, you know, and it's mostly wrong, and it never puts it in the right spot. Helbersaurs, hi, how are you on YouTube? Thank you, appreciate that. We're building a harmony puppet today. I know it's not traditional animation, but I'm working for a new tutorial I'm working on, so that's what we're doing here tonight. They had a Papa Gil program? I don't know that. So much faster if you just manually... Yeah, it's so much faster if you manually do it. Yeah, half the time it's messing up, so you're going to have to manually do it anyway, so... Am I making this short for upcoming Shark Week? It is completely unrelated. I don't even know when Shark Week is happening. I have no concept. I have no idea. Now, the reason I chose a shark is because this particular tutorial is all about layer syncing, and I just thought using that to also dovetail into some lip sync. So I wanted to have a nice mouth with lots of layers that we can use for layer syncing. And I thought a shark would be cool because they have cool teeth and they're nothing but mouth. So I thought that'd be cool. It's completely unrelated to Shark Week. Like for example, the O mouth. I'll make a few O mouths. I won't just make one. I'll make like 2 or 3, just like a in between, a couple in betweens, settling into it, and that should do the trick. That should do it. So. I don't really like this color here. darker. What else am I doing? I'm losing track here. A, E, push that down a bit. You know what? What if we take the O mouth and push it forward? And we probably won't see many teeth in there. Keep it dark. Yeah, I think I like this one better. It's a little more expressive than this one, but we'll keep this one around for old time's sake. I see I'm coming up on an hour here, so I think what I'm going to do... Oh yeah, it's 11:15 my time. So what I'm going to do right now is save it. And I'm probably going to be ending the stream. So what we got tonight so far was... We got a sort of puppet in place. We got some design. We got a little bit of action in here. Some basic movement. Nothing crazy. Built a mask for the fin, which I'm not thrilled with that because it flattens it out. I wish it would have a little bit of depth to it, so I may have to think of some... I might have to be a little more creative there than just a straight up mask in here. And I need to solve the problem when I bend this guy that these are not really doing anything, so I don't know. I have to figure that part out. It may or may not. It may go unanswered. I'm not too sure. So I think I'm going to call it a night, guys. I've been up for an hour now. So what I'm going to do now is kick it over to my end screen. You'll see some buttons in front of you right now on the recording. If you're watching the recording of this, please click my subscribe button to keep up with me. And please check out my Twitter, Google+, Tumblr, Blogger, what have you, to stay up to date with everything else. Thank you very much, guys, for hanging out with me tonight. I always appreciate it if you're watching the recording.